Hello, Melissa and Scott. It is Monday, and my hair is wet. That's because I showered. You're welcome, America. Right, so back to important stuff. Scott, your video last week? Pretty good. Made me think. Not too crazy about the thinking because summer, but it did remind me of some things that I learned in school. Yes, I learned something in college. Right, so what we learned on Scott's video is that media affects the way we see things and allows us to share, which is really cool. That same media that we share also affects the way that we see the world. And unfortunately for my summer brain, this shaping of the way we see the world based on what we know and have learned based on what we are exposed to is the long garbled version of the definition of a vocabulary term that was on the midterm I failed, actually. That term is foundation knowledge. This is knowledge that we have that serves as a foundation for how we see and interpret the rest of our world. The psychologists in charge of coming up with these words, obviously very, very creative when it comes to naming things. Basically, your working definition of the world based on the things that have influenced you and what you have been exposed to. So, as a white woman raised in a rural, almost exclusively white population outside of a big city, as a liberal in a conservative area, my foundation knowledge is all going to be based off of that conglomeration of experiences. If my personal foundation with all of that is here, and I go to a place where, say, I'm trying to relate to an inner city male of color, we may not see quite eye to eye. My foundation knowledge is what I know based on the experiences that I have lived. And I will never live someone else's experience, and therefore I will never have their foundation knowledge. However, I do have senses that allow me to perceive various forms of media that can illustrate another's experience and inform my own foundation of knowledge. Because of the world we live in and the media we have, even though I have never lived in a poverty-stricken inner city area, I can vicariously experience that. It gives me a greater platform to understand so that I can come into a classroom here and meet students where they are. If you're wondering why I'm talking about education so much, it's probably because, one, you're horrible siblings, and two, you forgot that I am a secondary education major, which means that I am probably going to be a teacher when I grow up, provided I ever grow up. I really don't think I'm going to get any taller, guys. In case you forgot both of my majors, my other one is creative writing, and actually talking about this major brings me back to Scott's video. If you recall, Melissa, he was so bold as to issue a challenge for both of us.
I would really love it if you would comment some form of media, be it a movie or a song or a poem, in the description that has just meant something to you.
And here's how this hooks back to the creative writing thing. Because as creative writing majors, for our portfolio, we have to complete an annotated bibliography. And this sounds lame and boring, but actually it's really cool because this annotated bibliography is basically the list of all of the media that has influenced us. So as part of my senior project, I'm basically going to be doing a 100-item list of what Scott challenged us to do in the last video. And conveniently for me, this annotated bibliography project brings me back to my first point. What we see and have seen informs our view of the world. This includes things that we've read, or art we've seen, music we've listened to. Basically anything that expresses human emotion and captures the human experience can build into our working perception of the world. Which means that in order to understand where a student is coming from, I don't have to live their life. I just have to be willing to listen to their reflections on it. And guys, as a reader, writer, student, and eventually teacher, I think being able to listen to others' reflections on their own experiences is one of the most important things we can do as human beings. So there you go, Melissa Scott, my soapbox for the week. Catch you guys on Monday.